Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. Good morning, good afternoon, good midday. When are you listening? Middle of the night? Good middle of the night. It is Garden America. Right now, though, we are live, and we are broadcasting from Tiger's house here in beautiful San Diego, California. John is back, as you can hear, because the show's coming back through his phone. Anyway, that's kind of a weird intro, but yes, good morning. If you are live and watching us live, it is morning time here, and we are Garden America. Brian Main, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox, and as you heard through the courtesy of John's phone, he is back. John, welcome back, and thank you for the feedback.
literally.
The literal feedback. Now, that's literally a correct use of the word literally.
I don't think anybody heard that. We heard that.
Yeah. When did literal change its definition?
In the literal sense?
Yeah, because no one uses it correctly anymore.
Oh, there's a lot of words nobody uses correctly anymore.
Like?
There you go. The word like.
Yeah.
Like, like tiger, like, No, I don't know. Tell me.
Well, when you started the show and you said, "Welcome back, my friends," I was going to make a comment because I didn't know quite the intro you were doing.
I never know either.
And it's the start of the show. So it's not like they're coming back from anything. They're starting with us. But then you kind of went into the show that never ends.
But we, and you know who that's from, don't you? Emerson, Lincoln Palmer.
Yeah.
And there's, let's say, looking and sounding great.
From
Dana.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you, Dana. That's good.
Yeah.
But back to what you were talking
You're
about.
You're very handsome, by the way.
It is. It is good to be back. Quite a change in temperature between Idaho and California.
Oh man,
you said that your highs were like equivalent to our lows.
Pretty much, yeah. And they had like nighttime temperatures into the 20s. It's still warm for them. They haven't had their cold weather yet. And daytime temperatures were in the 40s.
And it was nice weather, though, in the sense of it wasn't rainy. It wasn't stormy.
It was mostly sunny, a few overcast days. But it was perfect weather for traveling to garden centers.
Yeah.
And to see what was out there. And I was just amazed at the variety. I think I told you guys on the phone last week of the variety of plants that were out there.
Yeah.
The number of varieties of new poinsettias just shocks me every time I'm there. And I haven't been to your store for Christmas, Tiger, but do you have all those new varieties?
We talked about that last week, didn't we? The colors.
Yeah.
Did
you? We have about 8 or 9 varieties of poinsettias there now, maybe even more. Maybe it's more like 11 because we had about 3 or 4 different whites. Then we had.
No, you have the white now.
Yeah,
well, you used to be just creamish. It's what they called white, right?
And then we had a few different pinks, and then we had another.
Some of the
4
pinks
reds.
are real hot pink.
Hot pink.
Almost glowing. Yeah.
Yep. And then they have the different style, the rosette,
the marbles,
the smaller.
Those two.
You know what I've seen is, and I don't like this trend, but they go with the smaller poinsettia because it's not the blossom. What do they call
the bract?
It's a smaller bract, so it's got a smaller leaf.
Right.
I always love the poinsettias with the very large leaf. I've always liked that. That was always a thing that I thought.
Do you remember the Ecke poinsettias used to be 1 flower per stem?
Yeah.
And that gave you a huge bract.
Massive, yeah.
Now they're pinched.
Right.
Because they can save money on cuttings, right? So you can get a plant that has lots of flowers, but they're smaller.
Yeah. Not as I'm not liking that trend because a lot of them they're designed to have that smaller, more compact flower. Yeah.
The one that I saw, and I only saw one of these plants, so I don't know if it was unusual and just happened to come out that way, or if it is a style of poinsettia. But it was a variegated poinsettia, red bracts, but instead of white stripes or striped like jingle bells, it had occasional white spots.
Oh,
pure white.
Gotcha.
Like a clump of snow landed on there or something.
No, I haven't seen that one. Like the little areas that have the spots?
Right.
That's kind of like what you're talking about.
Yeah, except more spaced out.
Oh.
So
it's very spotted.
Sparse. Yeah, sparse spots.
Sparse spots. Got it.
So it was so unique, I almost bought it. But, we were bringing home other things, and It was already too much. We were packed as much as we could get to Idaho.
Everything
And-
go through TSA okay?
Yeah, except on the way back because I had
Because you had all the stuff you were bringing back from Idaho.
well, I had 2 succulents, and anytime you bring back plants, they catch it
Yeah.
because of the nitrate fertilizer that's in the plants. They always stop and check that.
Oh, okay.
But they open up, they see it's plants. You tell them what yeah, there's 2 plants in there, and then they pass you through. They don't smile.
They don't smile.
No, I think that's a new regulation. If you smile, you're fired.
yeah.
So, but it is nice to go through there and not have to take your shoes off anymore.
Oh, yeah, that's true, huh?
Not doing that anymore, huh?
No.
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 Why? What changed?
I don't know.
There comes the skepticism,
Well,
right?
maybe they have something that
can
measures
detect
your
that now.
shoes now.
You have
before
something.
you even get there.
Have you ever noticed that if there's something that's never happened before, and it happens one time, they have to pass a law
Yeah.
to cover that for
Right.
the future.
Yeah.
And it probably would never happen again. And the first time the shoe bomber happened, it didn't even work.
You're right. Yeah.
So
No, it's always those funny, weird laws.
Yeah.
Like no gardening on a Friday after a full moon. And they're like, what?
Speaking
Why
of
is
full
there that
moon,
law?
I
Yeah,
think
did
we
you see
have
it?
one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
The
Nice.
supermoon. Did you plant with the supermoon, John?
no, but I
You
did
didn't do
see
your
it.
lunar. You didn't do your
No.
lunar plantings.
No, I did tell my wife, "Hey, you need to come out and look at the supermoon."
Pretty
It was-
spectacular.
I thought it was interesting that at night you could see your shadows.
So bright.
Right, that's how bright it was. So that was
Yeah.
kind of cool. Our friend Rick in Star, Idaho, said, and he's in Dana Point today. Big difference.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's appreciating that. But said he'd buy me lunch next time in Idaho. So
Aw.
maybe I'll hold you to that, Rick.
Yep.
Or maybe hold out for dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about dinner.
I'll skip 2 visits if it turns into a dinner.
Yeah.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
I did get to take the grandkids to the movies, and at home we had watched Zootopia,
Okay.
which I had never seen before. So I won't spoil the ending for you if
Oh.
you haven't seen.
Thank you.
But we did go to the movies and to see
Number 2?
Zootopia too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear it's good.
I thought it was okay. I actually enjoyed them.
Yeah.
So we went on a Tuesday, and either Monday or Tuesday. Excuse me. And the kids, we went in the movie theater, and there were 3 other people there.
Yeah.
Because everybody was in school, but my grandkids are homeschooled.
Okay.
So they
That's
didn't
kind
have
of the
any
whole
problem.
theater to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really nice. And they were the seats that you could lay back in.
So-
so comfortable.
So I did this for the very first time 2 weeks ago. I went to a movie, and
Is this that Saturday when you and I were driving back from John's house?
was it?
You had to keep the kids busy?
No. This was different. This was
Okay,
different.
okay.
And our friend bought tickets, and so I'm like, okay, we're going with them, and
Yeah.
we're going to a movie. Well, number one, movie theaters, not doing as well as they used to.
Right.
Like John said, there was 2 people in it, so they have to be, they have to figure out a way to get people into the
Yep,
theater, right?
Yep.
I went to this movie, and it was a 4D movie.
4D?
4D. Okay, have you ever done one of these?
I don't even.
You can't take kids to that.
Okay,
So check this out.
so 4-dimensional.
So the seats move. Okay.
Well,
There's big fans and like misting system in the theater.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I've done that.
Okay. And then there's these things by your head that
Yeah.
blow air and water at you.
Yeah.
to
So-
match what's going on the
Yes.
screen.
So we went and saw Wicked. So there's a tornado. You felt like you were in the tornado watching this movie.
Wow.
You know what? I used to laugh at my dad because when he used to take us to the movie theater, I'd always look over and he'd be asleep.
Yeah.
And
The same as my dad.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
well,
right.
not too long ago, I'm that dad now that when I go to a movie theater, I'm like, Zootopia 2. I'm like, oh, cool. All right. And then 15 minutes in the movie, I'm like, it's dark and warm. The seats are nice now, right?
You know
You
what?
don't
I could
really
not-
fall asleep, though, do you?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I
Wow.
can't. Yeah.
You
But
know-
I can't fall asleep in a 4D movie. I'll tell you that.
I tell you, that's funny because several years ago, same thing with me, my son Eric. you know. And then so I wasn't even aware that I dozed off. And he hits me, hey, wake up. I go, no, I'm awake. He goes, really?
Yeah.
What just happened?
Yeah.
I go, you know, the guy,
credits are rolling.
Yeah, the guy with the sword, and the girl. He goes, you didn't see it. Don't give me that. There was no sword. There was no girl.
Oh,
Hey, we're
man.
gonna have to take a break.
Oh,
We've
please.
got the quote of the week.
Oh, all
read
right.
by you, not
Yes.
one of us, but from the originator. So thank you for joining us. We are back at Tiger's house here in San Diego. John is back. I'm Brian Main. Tiger Palafox, John Bagnasco, still going with Bagnasco? I trip up on that sometimes. John Bagnasco.
Yes.
And when we return, the quote of the week, we're going to take a break for our good friends and welcoming all on Biz Talk Radio. Facebook Live, Biz Talk Radio, back after these messages. We are back from the break. Thank you to those that are tuned in on Biz Talk Radio. Our regulars on Facebook Live. It's good to have the boys are back in town, and you've got the quote of the week, John.
I do, and you know I've been using a lot of epigraphs in the new book I've written.
In the literal sense?
In the literal sense, right. And so I've been looking at a lot of quotes from authors, and this one's from John Steinbeck. And he said, "What good's the warmth of summer without the cold of winter to give it sweetness?"
You know, every season, for the most part, kind of prepares you for the next. When summer rolls around and it starts to warm up, you're like, oh, so nice that it's warming up. And then you get into August, September, you're like, I can't wait till it gets cold again.
No, but it's a funny thing, right? In the sense of what that quote is, to think. Do you really think it's true, you know, John, as a gardener, if your roses never stopped blooming, would you appreciate them just as much as if they do now? Where
if there was no downtime.
If they go dormant for a period, and you're like, would you appreciate them just as much if they never stopped?
Do you mean if they were like the ones in reels where you just scatter the seed and then they... Have you seen those?
Yes.
It is so disgusting. In the hostas now, the electric blue
Oh yeah.
hostas that you just throw some seed out.
Yeah.
It's just... I don't know how that stuff can even be allowed.
No,
But no, I
mean,
agree with you
if your
because...
rose plant
Right.
always had a flower on it,
Yeah.
would you appreciate it as much as it goes dormant in the wintertime?
Yeah, no, I agree. You appreciate things because of change.
Yeah.
The different
Because they're
cycles.
taken away from
Right.
you. Well, they're taken away from you. So you have to appreciate it when it's not, you know?
Well, that's true. Yeah, I mean, the anticipation of a rose that begins to bloom.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that! In a week or two, what's
Well, you
what's it
can
gonna
look at your
like?
life that way, Tiger. Would you think the same way about your life if you were still the high school football stud that you
Yeah.
used to be?
Exactly.
If you
Like,
were the world-class surfer
no,
all the time.
You have to have that downtime. You have to have it taken away from you.
Yeah.
You have to have lost something in order to appreciate what you have.
Well, you also have to mature. You know, it's one thing to be a sprouting seed.
Mm-hmm.
It's another thing to be in full bloom, and it's another thing to age gracefully.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and watch other lives developing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, no, I mean, it's definitely, I think, especially right now in our era, and I know I'm going to get on the old man soapbox here, but because everything is
Let
so
me
instant,
move over.
because everything is so instant gratification, and like you said, because there's this concept and idea that something can happen overnight, you know, when it really can't. I think this era that we live in almost doesn't have anything ever taken away. I mean, we talk about this going to the grocery store. If I want a kiwi, I can go to the grocery store anytime and have a
right.
kiwi.
Right.
If I want a tangerine, I can go to the grocery store anytime and have a tangerine.
Right.
You used to talk about being home
Growing
in
up, you'd
Detroit.
Have to
and-
be the season for
and
it.
you walk
Yeah.
into the grocery store and you see those for the very
Yeah.
first time of that year.
There's an excitement.
And you were like, yes, oranges are in season. You
Right.
know, like,
Right. Well, you know this discussion, you know what it reminds me of? A book in the Bible, John. What book in the Bible do you think our discussion reflects?
Revelation.
Wow. We're not at the end of the
went
movie
there.
yet.
Oh, okay.
Ecclesiastes. There's a time
There's-
for everything. A time to be born, a time to die,
You
a
know,
time for the
Solomon
seasonal
wrote
changes.
the book of
Yeah,
Ecclesiastes,
David's,
but you know
son.
what a lot of people don't realize is
What's
that
that?
he was quoting Bob Dylan.
No, he was quoting. Yeah, he was quoting. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
And the birds also.
The birds, right?
Yeah, exactly. And when I was a kid, I had no idea that's where the song was from. I mean, a kid, not
From the book of Ecclesiastes.
right, exactly. But it goes with what we're saying that nothing is forever.
You know what I don't understand is that, and I've always wondered about it, Solomon was supposed to be reputedly the smartest man that ever lived, right?
Right.
But he had 1,000 wives and concubines. What
That's
what
yeah.
is smart about that?
Yeah, exactly.
We're buying trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah. Well, he did have a lot of stamina, didn't
Yeah.
he?
Dana, by the way, Tiger says your yard looks huge.
I know, right?
It
must
is
change.
huge.
Yeah.
You have what, an acre?
No, not
Not
quite.
quite?
Not quite, but almost.
So what he did, Tiger bought the property, and the guy said, "I'll throw in the house with it."
Yeah, exactly. That's really what I bought.
You
was
bought
I
the-
bought
ex-
the property.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is-
Exactly. You can do whatever you want to this later if you want to.
It's so funny because John and I have very similar worlds in that sense, where John's home is his yard, and then there's a house that
Right.
Shannon keeps, and that's
Yeah.
and that's the same thing here. My home is the yard,
Mm-hmm.
and then Janine, keeps the house in the sense of whatever she wants to do inside the house. By all means, go for it. I could care less.
Do you know what I'm surprised at? About 2 years ago, I took probably 50% of the plants in my patio and put them along the sidewalk out to what's officially HOA property. All the roses are lined up. I've got some palms out there, banana tree, whatever. Not once has anybody from the old HOA association to the new one said, "Hey, you got to move these." In fact, the other day, the manager was talking to some landscapers right in front of our house. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Not about me, but I'm like,
Right.
okay, this could get ugly.
Yeah. He's going to tell them to clean that up.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Now, remember, I'm kind of tucked away.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but I have 47 plants, which doesn't sound like a lot, but in an area where I am,
Right.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
But I have it situated in such a way to where it looks
Now, you're
like it
not
belongs
talking
there.
about in total. You're just talking about out front.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's the patio.
Right.
Anyway, so that's our story.
The
So I've
garden
learned
patio.
I've learned how to potscape.
A lot of people do that.
I wanted to keep going with the newsletter because
Yeah.
there was a lot of good information on there. Christmas trees. Right now is the time of year. Christmas trees. You had a great article. Did you write that one about how the trees continue photosynthesizing?
Right.
And that's something that people don't always know too. Is that
You're talking about cut trees
Cut-
after they've
cut
been
trees
cut
after
and
they've
brought
been
in
cut
the
down.
house.
yeah.
Right.
So depending on where you're at, you got noble fir, Douglas fir, Scotch pine, Fraser fir, all those cut Christmas trees. They are basically a cut flower. You try to keep it in water and you try to keep it absorbing water for as long as possible. But people don't realize that it is actually in your home photosynthesizing and it's still alive, moving around to
Right.
some extent.
And
in there.
because they're basically growing still, even though there's no roots, the stomata, which transpire and let water go into the air, are opening.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, the tree can dry out,
Yeah.
which is why you need to have it in water. I never understood when we came to California, because you don't see this back east, that they would just put a wood stand on a tree
Yes.
and then bring it in the house. And I had never seen that before. But, that's the worst thing you can do for maintaining the freshness of a tree.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you guys at your nursery do that, do you put that on, or do you have the plastic
Bowl.
bowl on with it?
Always plastic bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, we give it a fresh cut.
Right.
So you cut off about an inch or so of trunk to, it's kind
Right.
of like when you get a bouquet at home and you do that.
We got to take a break.
Okay.
Okay, hold that thought, though.
I will.
Don't let it slip away.
All right.
We're going to take a break. Biz Talk Radio, Facebook Live. From Tiger's house in San Diego, Brian Main, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox, back after these messages on Biz Talk Radio. All right. That was one heck of a break. We're glad that you're with us. For those just joining us, welcome. I mean, the door's always open, right? Knock, and
Yeah.
we'll answer it.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, a quick answer to Rick's question. He wanted to know if when I was in Idaho, we went to Edward's nursery, And that was where the poinsettia that I was talking about, that's where I saw that.
That's
All right,
super
back to cutting trees
Right.
and
Oh,
so
yeah,
on and so forth.
If you're going to get a cut Christmas tree, you want to give it a fresh cut, and then you want to get that in water as soon as possible. Just like you when you bring flowers home and you give
Yeah.
them a nice little snip, and then you put them right into the vase that you're going to keep them in. And then, I mean, everybody asks me, "Oh, what's the secret to keeping a tree looking fresh or staying fresh?"
And then Tiger says, I can't tell you, it's a secret.
All right, it wouldn't be a secret
Yeah.
anymore.
But I mean, in reality, all it is the room that you keep it in. You just got to do your best to keep it cool. I mean, like you said, John, it's got to be well lit, because you want it to be not in a dark dungeon room, but you don't want that room to be having a fireplace that's running 24/7. You don't want to have your heat on and keeping your room at 78 degrees with 0% humidity. That's just going to dry anything out right away.
Now, when I got up this morning, it was 50 degrees inside my house. Would that be ideal for a Christmas tree?
That's like keeping your Christmas tree in a
So
refrigerator.
here's the difference.
That'll
John,
last all the way into February for you.
with those temps in the house, John tells Shannon, I'm going to go outside and bring the orchids in.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness.
Speaking of that, it's time for me to cut it. I lost the last little
So it's time for you to cut the stem?
cut it all the way down.
There you go.
Let it do it and take it outside.
There you go.
Kevin, your buddy Kevin wants to know where to find a balsam fir.
Balsam.
Yeah, but he's in Coeur d'Alene. I don't know if he wants to come down here for it.
Yeah, exactly. Do they have those in
Well,
Idaho? What
I would
did you
think
see
so.
any did you see any trees up there? Like varieties?
The ones I saw were nobles and
Okay.
Doug firs and some Scotch pine. But even when we were in Detroit, we would get balsam fir, but not until just 2 weeks before Christmas. And the reason was they lose their needles the quickest.
So quick.
But everybody wants them because they smell so good, right?
Yeah.
So you got a 2-week window, right?
Yeah. We used to bring them in here in California. I don't know if you do.
We don't because
Right.
like you said, it's
Yeah, they lose their needles
I
right
mean,
away.
And even keeping it as like a nursery.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Do they get their nobles from locally, or do they bring them from Oregon and Washington?
I would
Also-
think probably Oregon and Washington.
Okay.
It's just my guess.
Yeah.
But I've never seen. I haven't seen northern Idaho. I don't know if there's Christmas
Tree
tree
farms.
farms up there or not.
Which I also want to mention because this is something that people talk about all the time too. Fake tree, cut
Right,
tree.
yeah.
I want to do good for the environment, so I get a reusable fake tree, and I mean we can go round and round on theory and what you can do about for the environment or whatever, but these Christmas trees are not coming from a forest where people
No.
are going through them and deforesting. This is a corn. This is a soybean. This is a crop that they plant and then they replant
Right.
and they maintain and all of
And you
that.
you never worry about using too much corn.
No.
You're
No,
not worried about
they're cutting down the cornfields.
Yeah.
It's like fish farms.
Yeah.
When they're
Yes.
run, abalone farms because we fished them out of existence almost.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, we went to no, it stays in line with what we're
Okay.
talking about. So last week we went to Bully's, local restaurant here in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Very inexpensive. You get a good deal. Whatever you walk out, you feel like you got your money's worth. I look at abalone's on the menu. I'm like, whoa! After 30, 40, 50 years, 3 ounces, $60.
Wow.
6 ounces, $109.
My
Wow.
goodness.
And I said, these are coming from a farm? She goes, yeah, I think this is from a abalone farm somewhere down south.
Yeah.
Because over the years, we fished them out of existence.
Yeah.
Skin divers would always go down and just, there was no rules or regulations at that time.
Yeah.
You would
I mean,
always
so
have
true.
a bologna sandwich when you were a kid, right?
Love abalone.
Yeah.
Abalone.
Abalone and mustard, right?
What are you talking about?
It's a bologna sandwich.
Oh, okay. I'm slow on the uptake.
Abalone.
I'm slow on the uptake.
I wasn't here for a week. You
Yeah.
gotta get used to me again. I wasn't here for 2 weeks. Wow.
It gave you 2 weeks to write a lot of material.
Yeah.
So go ahead and try it out. Yeah, bologna and mustard's good.
Okay, real quick. Oh,
Tiger, Lila
Yeah.
wanted to know why they advise you not to put a flock tree in water.
okay, I wouldn't know if they advise you. I would
But
say,
it's similar to what we're talking about, right? The trees are still alive, right?
Uh-huh.
But on a flock tree, the stomata are covered.
Covered.
They're
I
not
like it when you talk Italian. I love it.
they're not the stomata. He's covered. They're not. They're not going to be transpiring,
No.
and they don't need to take up water.
Correct.
So
It's kind of
and the flocking is
waste.
somewhat fireproof too, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It's a flame retardant.
Right.
Right. Exactly. So flock trees don't require a bowl because once you flock the tree, it's preserved. It's preserved in the way that you flock it.
I thought flocking was illegal in this country.
Not if you
Only in your
if
home, it's fine.
if it's between consenting trees, it's not a
exactly.
problem.
But and that's the thing is with those trees. I mean, heck, you can walk into a home with a flock tree, and in February, it still looks the same as if they bought it in December. So that's why they don't put it's kind of a waste if you do water it because it doesn't really need it, like John said. And once it's all covered, it's not transpiring or anything,
Right.
anyways. But the beauty of the flocking is that it is a flame retardant, so people do sometimes do it just for that idea that it doesn't dry out.
Yeah,
preserves
sure.
The tree. So, what were we talking about before the flocking and before John? You went on to the
Abalone. We're farming. We're talking about Christmas tree. Where they come from? The corns. The corns.
Christmas trees. Okay, so Christmas trees are coming from a farm. And, like John said, you're not going to just stop eating corn because people are
Right.
cutting down corn. Where the fake tree, hey, by all means, go for it. Use it year after year. But in a lot of ways, that's almost worse for the environment because, number one, they're going to end up in a landfill.
Yep.
Number two, it's the whole plastic and everything else behind it.
Right.
So Christmas trees are a great way to a cut Christmas tree is actually a great way to kind of support that idea, that concept, and it is okay. It is good. You don't have to worry about we're not cutting down forests for these things.
And we have mentioned before that in my opinion,
Here we go.
that 90% of everything you're told is good for the environment is actually bad.
Yeah, exactly.
It usually has no effect on the environment or is harmful. But that being said, always do your research, right?
Yeah, exactly. Make your own opinion. Make your own decisions. Fine.
Brian and I were talking before the show today about something. I think he said Dana told him something she had seen, and he was skeptical about it. And he said, "Where'd you get that?" And she said, "She saw it on the internet."
Yeah.
There's
The news, the internet.
Right.
So the point is to research it.
Right.
Go to 2 or 3 different sources and then form that opinion based upon, it's like they say, get a second opinion from a doctor.
Yeah, anytime that you're skeptical on something, just ask people on Reddit what the truth is.
Yeah.
Or Wikipedia.
Or just call us. Call us and ask us. We're perfect. I do want to ask Lila because I was out at her house a week ago. And they had a leak, an irrigation leak, and we found this hose bib that was leaking in the backyard.
Wouldn't that be a great, completely off topic, but it just popped into my head that if you were hybridizing allium, plants in the allium family, and you were breeding leeks, wouldn't irrigation be a great variety?
An irrigation leak?
Right.
Name a leak that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Okay.
funny. That's a good one. That's a good one.
See?
See that? Yeah, we went 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
I can come up with some stuff.
Fresh
anyway,
material.
WikiLeaks?
Yeah.
You can name
There
one
you-
wiki?
Yeah.
WikiLeaks?
Kiwi leeks.
Kiwi leaks?
Anyway, I'm
No, but-
sorry I interrupted you. Go ahead.
I hope they got that fixed because
We got a minute to go to the break.
They actually, this is something that was really cool. The reason why they knew is the water company sent them a letter saying, "We found that your usage
Oh, yeah,
was
it's got-
has gone up."
abnormally high."
Right.
And so that instigated them to actually reach out to me and say, "Hey, we have a problem. Can you come help me out?" So I was like, "Wow, that's really neat that your water company didn't
Yeah.
just send you a $1,000 bill and be like, whatever."
I don't
And
know.
you
Good luck."
found it?
Yeah, we found it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Hey, when we come back from the break, I have something I'd like to do that I haven't asked you guys about. So I think
Okay.
I'm going to do it anyway, because if I ask, you might say no.
Might say no. So we have one more segment coming up before the top of the hour news, which takes place on Biz Talk Radio, not Facebook Live. Our breaks on Facebook Live are much quicker. So that said, we're going to take a break. One more segment coming up, hour one for Biz Talk Radio. Facebook Live is Garden America broadcasting live from Tiger's house here in San Diego, California. Back after these messages on Biz Talk Radio. Okay, back from the break. Now, a reminder, because last week we did this for the first time, and it seemed to work out just fine. We kind of break the show up into parts 1 and parts 2. So after we finish this segment, we're going
Almost like the first hour and the second hour.
You could call it that if you want to. We're going to shut things down at the end of this segment, and then we're going to reestablish ourselves on Facebook Live. Right, Tiger?
Yes.
Okay.
So what that'll look like is
That we've gone away.
Yeah, it'll say that this video has ended. You go back to our main page. There will be a new one that will pop up, and then you start from there.
So it's like starting the show all over again. So give us a couple, 2 or 3 minutes after we take that break, and then we'll start anew. This is one way that we've discovered that keeps us going without somebody kicking us off without our consent.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so John has something he wants to ask us.
Well, actually, I wanted to ask a favor from our listeners, because we have thousands of listeners that have various backgrounds and much more information put together than any one of us could ever hope to have on their own. And as you know, I've just written my first novel, and I'm putting the finishing touches on it. And in the it's a literary historical thriller is the best way to describe it. Yeah. And in this world building, there's certain things that I've had to do that I've never done before in writing a book, and it's really difficult if you've never written a fiction book before to get a first. They say less than 1% of new literature finds an agent,
right? Okay,
and I'm kind of looking for that. But what I would. If you are one of our listeners and you enjoy reading the type of book I just described, I would like to, if you send me a note to john@gardenamerica.com, I would like to send you the first few chapters of my book. Chapters 1 through 4 set the story, and I want to comment on whether or not you would want to read more after that. Then chapters 5 through 8 describe the antagonists or the villains in the story, and I just want a description like, what do you think of, are they plausible characters to you? Just those two things are what I want to know. Now, if you don't normally read those type of books, don't send me a note and ask me to send it to you. But if you do, I'd appreciate it, and any comment would be appreciated, even if it's like, this is the worst writing I've ever read, or I can't believe you would write something
Don't
like
quit
this.
your day job.
Yeah. It's like,
Now,
at least you've got the radio to fall back on.
Do they need any context, or can they just read this?
No,
without
because
any...
all I want to know is whether you would want to read more.
Okay.
If you're interested.
You're teasing them.
Right, and because with the first 4 chapters, I have to get an agent's attention.
Right. Okay. Yes.
If listeners are saying, I would like to see, I didn't really like this, or I didn't think this was interesting, then I know it, because I'm putting together query letters for agents, and after being rejected 15 times now, and I'm still waiting for a bunch, but I'm going to go through and adjust the query letters. So anyway, I would appreciate it, and
John at GardenAmerica.com.
Yeah, just a note to John
You're
at
getting some thumbs up.
GardenAmerica.com. Right.
Thumbs up on Facebook.
And if I do send it to you and you read it and don't think it's worth the effort to reply, you don't have to.
Yeah, maybe just don't reply.
Yeah. What was it that Thumper's father used to tell him?
You mean Thumper like in Bambi?
Yeah. Like, if you can't say something
nice, don't say anything at all. To which a lot of parents grabbed onto that quote for years.
Right. Yeah. Unfortunately, I've never. Kevin's in. Where do we get the book? Let's pay attention, Kevin. The book's not out yet. I'm trying to get an agent. So, Kevin, just send a note, john@gardenamerica.com. And
he'll send you the first 4 chapters, right?
Actually, the first 8 chapters.
First 8 chapters.
Broken into 2 parts.
And the
so
point
that
is,
you can
Kevin,
see.
do those first 8 chapters give you enough inkling to want to read the rest of the book? Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lenore's already dying to read your book, John.
Now
hold on. Lenore.
she's not literally
Yeah,
dying.
please. Yeah. Yeah.
Just been talking about that. But yeah, it's I have to admit that if I read it, I would want to read more.
I wanted to read more than what you sent me. Of course, it was about me, wasn't it? In a weird sense, right?
We were talking about how when I started to write the book to keep the characters straight, I used the names of people I knew, then went back and changed them. But you and Tiger both asked me to keep your names in there.
Yeah.
So I went and did that. So just because you guys have your names in the book doesn't mean those are you. It's not you.
Make a bet.
But
We'll see what holds up in court.
Yeah, right.
But I because I know you guys so well, there's characteristics of you that are in the book. The Brian character in the book happens to do podcasts. Which is
There's a little radio on the side.
there's a little radio on the side, right?
Has a wife named Dana, and a cat named
Yeah, 3 cats.
And the character named Tiger is a surfer. So yeah, there are some characters.
When's the last time you surfed?
Last weekend,
Really?
Sunday,
Where-
every Sunday.
Where,
we go.
where are you going? Where's your hangout?
Law Street, Pacific Beach.
Law Street. Man, that is so old school. That is so.
So old school.
I mean,
man.
that's my neck of the woods. Everyone, let's go to Law Street.
yeah.
No more wind and sea, huh?
The Pump House.
No more wind and sea.
Was it called the Pump House
Yeah,
when you were growing up?
exactly.
Because, there's
Yeah.
that giant pump room that services Pacific
That
Beach.
little
'Cause,
is that-
Pacific Beach is like underwater.
Is that shack at Wind and Sea still there?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Wow,
Yeah.
a lot of history there. So next week's show is going to be about surfing and plants.
Yep. And John's book.
In John's book, yeah.
Yeah.
We like to drift. Are we caught up on the questions, comments?
We are.
Okay.
And I just did want to remember, I posted a link or a note, but I just do
For the
want to
second
remind
hour.
everybody that this video will end.
We're going to shut down.
We did it on purpose.
Yep. Yeah. We are choosing when to shut
Yeah,
down.
you go
Right.
back to the main page, and we will start up a new one. Just because we like to be able to control that. We
Right.
ran into the issue in the past where Facebook was kicking us off after a certain amount of time,
Yeah.
and it was difficult for us to log back on. Where if we found that if we control it,
If
Right.
we do
We
it
can get back
ourselves,
on.
it's like starting over again.
yeah, makes it a little easier.
So let's take a break now, shall we?
Yeah, let's take a break, and then we'll get back with the
Okay.
second hour. We have some wonderful plans to talk about.
We're
that
going
are
to
in
talk
front
about.
of us.
Oh, all right.
So we're going to be shutting down on purpose. So we'll be back now for Biz Talk Radio 6 minutes after that. That time is different than what the real time here is on Facebook Live. This is Garden America. Brian Main, John Bagnesco, Tiger Palafox. Thank you for joining us. We're going to take a break. 6 minutes after we come back on Biz Talk Radio, Facebook Live. Just keep watching, log back in, and we'll do part 2 or the second half of the show, as John says, after these messages and news on Biz Talk Radio. We are back. If you're tuned in on Biz Talk Radio, welcome to hour number 2. If you're a long and dedicated Facebook Live viewer and listener, welcome back as well. We are here. Top of the hour break for news, and of course, top of the hour break for us to reset things here. This is hour number 2 or part 2, depending upon how you want to look at that, John. But we are back. We are live on air right now on Facebook Live, pre-recorded on Biz Talk Radio. And hope you enjoyed the first hour, the first show. If not, you're welcome to join us anytime, and we'll just pick it up from there.
I was just thinking about being ready and rested. Since you just came back from the restroom during the break, are you now rested?
Tan, rested, and ready.
I don't know about
there was
tan.
a tanning bed in there.
Well, no. Yeah, you didn't see it?
Whether you just laid out. What's going on?
Don't you remember back in the 70s, that was an old Nixon thing? I'm tan, rested, and ready.
Yeah.
And I'm back.
Is that
You're
was
the least-
tanned part because he went to like a tropical vacation?
I don't know.
His house was in San Clemente.
So he feels San Clemente is
Yeah.
a place where you can get a tan. Huh?
I told you I had dinner at his house once.
no, I didn't.
Whose
No.
house?
Richard Nixon's?
At the Western
The
White
Western
House.
in San Clemente.
Yeah.
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 That's-
Shannon.
Is it nice?
Yeah, you know who? Well, I don't know if they still own it, but the person that bought it after Nixon left was Gavin Herbert, who
No
was
clue.
the owner of Rogers Gardens.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Really?
cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So flower money, huh?
Yeah, so so we were invited over there, and I remember Shannon going, she had to use the restroom, and she came back, and her comment was, I wonder whose butt's been on this toilet.
Those are things I would think about.
That is a good one.
And didn't Sharon have some plates at her house, or some dinnerware that came from the White House, or from?
No. That's a long story, but had nothing to do with that. But it does have something to do with the Band of Brothers. So maybe someday when we've got more time, we can go into that story.
All right, our numbers are coming up. People are starting to log back on.
Yeah, we're here.
Hey, I'm interested. Last segment you had last segment you let people know that we were going to be talking about some of the plants we have here, and I was really interested. I've been really interesting sometimes, but I was really interested in the tomato that you brought. It had come up from a seed, but I think it's one of the spoon type tomatoes, right?
Yeah, if you're watching on Facebook Live right now, you can kind of see this tomato branch that I pulled off of the plant, and you can see what do they call this, cluster?
Yeah, they're like pea-sized tomatoes, right?
Yeah, and that's as big as it's going to get.
Yeah,
that's the tomato size right there,
and they're sweet, right?
The spoon ones were. I don't think this one's right.
And what did you say?
That's not right.
What's that variety? What are they called again?
Spoon. They call it spoon because you can get, a dozen in a teaspoon, right?
Yeah, I mean, they talked about that, right? That's why they called it, because they're real small. Right. But
that's a class of tomatoes that's usually referred to as currant tomatoes.
Mm-hmm. And do you remember our description of those tomatoes last time when we were talking about it? Because they are sweet,
right?
And they're small, like a pea size,
right?
And how we talked about, remember, we described them as boba, the drink,
yeah.
And because they really do have an amazing flavor, sweet, very tomato-esque, and they burst. They're unlike a tomato that
it's a burst of flavor.
Well, unlike a tomato that you take a bite into, right? This is one that is like a boba, and it bursts with all that tomato flavor, and it's wonderful to use in salads. And rather than using a cherry tomato,
sprinkle them in,
which sometimes can be a little bit even big for a salad, these ones you can just sprinkle them in.
You could hide them in a salad. Not tell somebody, and then go, "But the salad's sweet."
Yeah,
what's in here? Can you imagine a beefsteak tomato that size, that sweet?
What?
Wouldn't that? I mean, a tomato, a huge tomato, that has the same sweetness as that.
Oh, okay, I got you.
That would be overwhelming, wouldn't it? A little bit.
I was like, I'm very confused about what you're trying to say.
No, I'm just saying because those are small and very sweet.
Yes.
Take that same sweetness in a huge tomato.
Put it on a beefsteak size. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, Rick is wondering what tomato has the highest sugar content now. And
that's changed over the years, John,
yeah,
right?
We're not growing tomatoes anymore, so I don't know if I'm up with what's current, but the last one that I remember was sweet aperitif.
Yes.
Yep.
So sweet aperitif is probably the sweetest, but do you really, Brian, do you need anything sweeter than sun sugar?
Yeah. I was going to say that's very common.
Yeah.
So most people find the sun
sugar and sun gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are all good sweet tomatoes.
You put the sun and gold together, you can't lose, right?
So the other plants that I put out here, the blossoms, I should say, the hibiscus. I mean, isn't it fun that we are in, December right now,
right?
And these hibiscus full bloom, absolutely gorgeous. Is your hibiscus blooming or no?
Yeah, this is the time of the year that it blooms. Spring and summer, occasionally, but now, and I've got the dinner-sized hibiscus.
You have the large flower ones.
And they blooming all the time this time of the year.
Yeah, exactly.
Carolyn Tiger asks, didn't we sell those tomatoes years ago? And we did. And I think after I stopped growing them, you grew one year for Gardener Supply, right?
Yeah.
And did you grow that for them? Is that how you got that?
The spoon?
Yeah.
No, the spoon came from Tomato Mania.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Tomato Mania is a great event.
Carolyn says that she still has a few volunteers every year from that. So that's what this is,
That's
right?
what this is,
exactly
Carolyn.
right.
It is a volunteer. It just came up in the garden, and I'm like, oh, wow, look at that go. Sometimes this plant also kind of looked like because tomatoes are a solanum.
Right.
So when it was first coming up, you know how that nightshade solanum weed will sometimes come up in a yard?
Right.
At first I thought it was that, but then I was like, no, I think it's actually an actual tomato. So I was happy to see it.
Joyce says that she's planting boysenberries from a friend who's thinning them out this time of year.
Really?
Yeah,
All
so
right.
this is actually a good time if you're dividing certain perennials and berry bushes to go ahead and get them in the ground now, and then they'll take off for spring.
Do you just dig these up? Because
It
they're kind
just
of like a
divisions,
runners. They're
yeah.
just kind of like runners, right?
Yeah.
You just dig up a cluster
Yeah.
and then,
Yeah.
find a root system.
Like Bermuda grass.
I was going to say, you just dig it up, you find a root system, and then you
Right.
just plant that. Yeah. And then Tanya wrote, "My bird of paradise is full of blooms." Yeah, I mean,
This is the time of year for bird of paradise.
it is, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of neat with this winter tropical look.
Yeah.
Hibiscus, bird of paradise.
Yeah.
The plumerias are not so much,
Mine hasn't lost all of its leaves yet.
Yeah.
It's kind of just hanging in there with a flower or two.
Yeah.
It looks like yours, Tiger, basically,
Uh-huh.
So you guys both had leaves this year,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
and flowers.
John's like, wait a minute, plumerias have leaves? I thought they were just the big stems.
Someday, I'll learn how to grow plumeria.
Well, you know what I kind of feel you need a little bit is some protection. And when your trees get more established, you'll have those pockets of the yard that aren't so exposed. Because I think part of your battle
I
is
lose
that exposure.
mine during the winter, though,
Well, I know, but those trees will protect
from
also
the frost.
From
Is that
like,
what you're talking
yeah,
about?
like
Cold
you'll have
weather.
little pockets.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. So
Because-
far, no cold weather this year.
Dude, it's cold.
Yeah.
It's cold.
Yeah. When it's 50 degrees inside the house, maybe it's getting cold.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know,
That's a great story.
We mentioned the first hour that we've got a week of 80-degree temperatures coming up.
Yep.
High 70s, low 80s.
Okay, so that's
very
80 in
dry.
Fallbrook, right?
Very dry.
Right in
Oh, wait,
Fallbrook.
Santa Ana kind of weather?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you would probably you'll probably be high 60s, low 70s, right?
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's that time of year.
You know, I noticed looking over to my left, Tiger, your banana trees. Look at those.
Well, I said something last week to Tiger.
Yeah.
Are they any good? And he said, "No, they don't taste. They don't taste as good as they look."
Yeah. Well,
Isn't that nice?
Are those ones will probably be ready next week, and so we'll pull some off, and you guys can do a little taste
Yeah,
test.
absolutely.
Are
yeah.
they? Those aren't plantains, are they?
I kind of think they are.
Oh.
I kind of think they
Yeah,
are.
well, plantains aren't supposed to be good.
Well, I know.
You've got to
So-
cook them.
I know, but so
We'll
I
take
don't
I'll bite them anyway.
that's a question for our listeners. If anybody knows how to identify bananas, how do you identify a banana?
I've got a book at my house in my library you could check out called
Bananas for Dummies.
Banana Varieties of the World.
Will you send me the login information to register for your library so I can put my info in to check out a book, please?
We got to take a break. We're talking bananas.
You want to apply for a library
Yeah,
card?
exactly.
Is that
That's
what
what I
you're
wanna do.
saying?
That's
All
what I
right.
All right, taking a break for Biz Talk Radio, Facebook Live. Do stay with us. This is Garden America. You have to admit that was one heck of a break. It is a Garden America break. It's a Garden America show. It's a Garden America segment, and we are back. Just joining us or have no idea what's going on, we are broadcasting live from Tiger's house, his backyard here in San Diego, California. Sun is out. It's going to be a beautiful day in the neighborhood, right, Mr. Rogers?
I went to his statue in Pittsburgh.
He's got a
You didn't
statue.
statue? You
Does he
didn't-
really?
Right outside the.
I
think
thought
it's the
that was
Steelers.
Rocky.
No, that's
in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Oh, where were you? Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Oh.
Right outside, I think it's the Steelers Stadium on the water. He has a beautiful memorial that's a statue of him just sitting there looking out over the water. I don't remember what river it is.
What's
that
his?
runs through.
The Allegheny,
There's three.
the
aren't there?
Monongahela, and the Ohio.
Isn't that Three Rivers Stadium?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's the Ohio,
Say that again.
the
slowly.
Monongahela, and the what was the third
Allegheny?
one? And the Allegheny.
So yeah,
So what's his tie-in with Pittsburgh?
I probably should have looked more.
Wow.
I'm sure he's probably from there or something. But you walk up and then they have audio and it's all of his little
Well, hi
cool
there.
proverbs that
Welcome
we
to
can
the
be
neighborhood.
friends and all that stuff. So I don't know. It was pretty cool.
Hi,
Pretty cool.
hi there. Can you say Allegheny? I knew you could.
All right, we have questions and comments.
Yeah, Daisy wants to know if she can prune her persimmon tree now. She said all the fruit's been harvested. Can she do it now?
To which John would say, no, wait till 2 o'clock this afternoon, right?
Or should she wait until January with the other fruit trees? She's up in the Bay Area, and don't judge her. She's a 5th generation San Diegan.
Oh. And then you
Nice.
moved.
Yeah, up to the Bay Area of all places.
Yeah. I don't know if that was a positive move.
Yeah. Our friend Tanya's in the Bay Area.
We're not
Is that
judging.
right?
No judge.
Yeah. This is Judge Free.
Tanya's a San Jose Shark fan, by the way.
Yeah, Tanya just chimed in. Daisy, there's nothing wrong with being in the Bay Area. No.
Persimmon, what are you going to do, John?
Yeah, when are we
Right
gonna
now?
when are we gonna cut
You gonna
back?
wait? You going to wait or are you going to trim?
They just dropped their leaves, right?
Yeah.
And I think I might wait just a little bit and the only reason is I don't know what the temperature is going to be like in the Bay Area, but if you get a warm streak, you don't want to encourage growth.
Right.
So
That's the biggest risk.
Yeah.
You trim, and when you
Yeah.
trim things and the weather stays nice, now they grow.
Right. Yeah, now you probably don't have. That's probably not as much of a problem in the Bay Area as down here. Because again, going into, like, if you went through and pruned your say your hibiscus now, you're going to encourage new growth.
Oh, yeah.
So
What just fell?
I don't know.
something hit the roof. It's
I
that
think a
time of
bird
year.
dropped something. Because there's nothing above this roof.
No. What the heck was that?
Yeah, it's Santa's checking on you. Tiger wants to see if you've been naughty or nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we've talked about this before where, you want to wait for some of this pruning until you're going to get cold weather, because then the plant stays dormant. Persimmons, I mean, are those tropical or they not subtropical?
No, Mediterranean.
Yeah.
Mediterranean.
So-
Yeah, as a matter of fact, my grandmother, when we lived in Detroit, had a persimmon tree on
Really?
her. Yeah, in her yard. But they would treat it like a fig tree. They would every winter wrap it in straw, in
like,
burlap,
kinda
and then
mulch it
build a little
and-
case around it. Yeah, to protect it. But yeah, so they're Mediterranean type trees. They're drought tolerant. Once they're established.
Yeah.
So yeah, not tropicals.
Okay.
Not like a loquat or
Um,
avocados or
Yeah,
citrus or things like
guavas
that.
and
Even
things.
citrus are somewhat Mediterranean.
I always classified citrus as more like a little bit more of a tropical fruit.
Yeah, they are pretty much, but
They are Mediterranean. Where do we say they're from? China, Asia, right?
yeah, it depends. I think like what the finger limes are from Australia. Some are from Asia. I'm wondering about South America because I do know that the original Washington navals came from there, but I don't know. They might have
Came from somewhere and then
yeah,
came there.
Yeah, they might have gone there. So I'm not
Okay.
sure. So
Still,
Rick had mentioned he was in Dana Point. You want to know why?
yeah, we talked to him about it last time.
He's leaving for Thailand
Yeah.
this afternoon.
Yeah.
He wants to know. It's his first trip overseas.
Wow.
Overseas?
Wow.
Yeah, that seems like an
Wow.
odd place to go for your
That's
first.
a big trip
I was going
Yeah,
to say
for your first one.
That's what 18 hours or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to know if you have any advice. I've never actually been to Asia. Have you?
I've been to Bali. So is that Asia?
That's South
That's
Pacific.
Indonesia. That's
Yeah.
Indonesia.
Yeah. That's close.
I mean, I did a layover in Japan.
To get to Bali.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think. What was the big city? Kuala Lumpur?
Yes.
That's still Indonesia,
Kuala
right?
Lumpur. Yeah, which used to be. What did it used to be? Oh gosh, because it was one of those names like Bombay. Now they changed the name.
Oh, really?
Kuala Lumpur used to be.
Something else?
I think, unless I'm thinking
No,
of the
I've
wrong
been.
one.
I've never been to Asia either.
Not Ceylon.
No.
Ceylon is changed to something
Oh
else.
my gosh.
And he's there all the way through Christmas, so he's there for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you're going to go that far,
Yeah.
Make it worth it.
make it
huh?
worth it. Yeah.
There's a plant market in Chiang Mai, and that's something that's been on my bucket list is to visit the plant market in Chiang Mai. If I think those are the highlands in Thailand, if you have the opportunity to visit, since you're going to be there for so long, Rick, go there, take some pictures. I think it's supposed to be one of the areas, the premier areas in the world for tropical varieties. And Thailand is also doing the breeding with plumeria.
Yeah.
Lots of plumeria hybrids there, adeniums, and what's the other thing that I wanted to say? Oh, I said plumeria.
You said plumerias.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one other thing that they're doing.
The there wasn't that where also they were
Crown
doing
of Thorns are doing a lot of
the
breeding.
philodendrons. Why can't I think of it? The split leaf philodendron.
Split leaf
but then
philodendron.
Isn't Thai Constellation
right?
From didn't they do a lot of breeding there with that stuff?
I'm not sure that's breeding or if it's sports they find, but there'll be a lot of variegates there that are new. So yeah, a lot of the new stuff is coming from there. So you're going to have a great trip. I've never been there. Shannon went with the Ship of Hope. She was working as a nurse on the Ship of Hope and went to Thailand, Cambodia, and Vietnam.
Am I thinking of Kathmandu?
No, because Kathmandu is in Nepal.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. There's a name change going on there somewhere. Anyway,
wasn't
break time.
Wasn't there a song called
Kathmandu? That was Bob Seger.
Bob Seger,
yeah, Bob Seger. Okay, we're going to take a break as we continue on this wonderful voyage today here on Garden America. Brian Main, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox. A break for our friends on Biz Talk Radio. Thank you to our sponsor, major sponsor, Fertilome, and other sponsors you'll hear on Biz Talk Radio. Stay with us. Okay, here we go. Stand by. All right, we are back. As we stand by, we stood by. Once you stand by, you can go live, John. So we are back. Any questions, comments, or corrections on Kathmandu or Nepal or anything like that, Tiger, that you can see?
No.
Okay.
No, we're just moving along now.
Okay.
I think that, one of the things I wanted to mention also as we kind of get into this time of year, we were talking about, the right time to prune the persimmon trees and things like that. We've mentioned this before, but fertilization of the yard slows down in the winter time. We don't want to push growth.
Right.
Definitely don't want to use synthetic fertilizers that are going to push growth as the cold weather comes on. But, John was mentioning, back east where people will start to heavily mulch for frost protection. They'll start to put down some of the other protections. Same thing here in Southern California and on the western side of the United States too. It is a great time to kind of mulch because if you put the mulch down now, it will begin to break into the soil. I mean, a lot of times they put down mulch for, keeping moisture in and weed prevention. But at the same time, for the wintertime, you're giving it that time to actually get into the soil and break down by the spring. And when you want to plant in the spring, the soil will be much, easier to work with, a little bit more lively. One of the comments earlier by one of our listeners found it interesting on how sometimes for people, things are so easy for people to grow. And sometimes people have a challenge growing certain things. And it's not always about where you live because it could just be just as easy for me to grow something as you because we live here in San Diego.
Right.
But soil in a yard makes a huge difference of what you're successful with. And I kind of feel like that all starts with mulching and amending the soil.
So what kind of soil did you have when you moved in here? Or was it, for the most part, dirt?
So I live in these houses were built in the 60s.
Right.
So it's 2020 right now. This soil has been amended, over
50, 60 years. Yeah, right.
The worst places are the new track homes because it's all fill dirt, it's all cut soil,
right?
It's all DG.
Oh yeah.
And so all these new homes, people go in there wanting to garden.
And the soil's worthless.
You might as well invest twice as much as what you're going to put in plants and your landscape into just getting that soil up and running because it is not good at all. And so I would say I have very wonderful, I would consider it loam soil. But it's 60 years old of yard here, and not only that, the yard that I have was neglected for probably about 15 to 20 years.
Really?
Which is actually kind of a good thing because that was someone that just left the leaf litter, left the weeds, left the debris, amending that soil.
The environment was doing its own thing.
And so
it was all natural.
I actually have pretty good soil. I mean, yes, there's clay.
Yeah.
But there's clay everywhere in San Diego that you run into.
Not at my house.
Well, yeah, you just have DG. Straight DG.
And G.
Right, exactly.
And a rock.
Yeah. You were talking about mulching and how important it is. It's also if you have slopes.
Yeah.
With the rains coming, it breaks up the rain so you don't have as much erosion. So that's another benefit of mulching. Brian, back to your questions. I did check with AI to see what the former name of Kuala Lumpur was, and the answer was nothing. It's always been Kuala Lumpur.
So they changed it from nothing to Kuala Lumpur. Okay, all right.
From nothing to Kuala Lumpur. And what I was thinking of when I said Ceylon, that is now Sri Lanka.
Oh, I've got Burma.
Burma's Myanmar.
Myanmar, that's right.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
From Burma to Myanmar. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were just on a completely wrong track.
No, I was on the right part of the world.
Well, that's true.
I think I had my latitude mixed up with my longitude. I think that's what happened there.
You don't want to mix your longitude. The way things come out if you do that. Yeah. It's all blended together, it bleeds together.
And then Tiger was in Japan thinking he was in, where would you think? Oh, Bali.
Yeah.
Bali.
Yeah.
Carolyn mentioned, was wondering if you're talking about Siam. Siam used to be Thailand.
There's another one, yeah.
Yeah. King of Siam.
Was that The King and I?
Yeah.
With Yul Brynner and Deborah Carr? Deborah Carr.
Yeah.
How do I know these things?
You just been around.
It just kind of sticks in there and you pull it out.
Yes, it's osmosis. It just, that's why people...
Is that good for your plants?
I don't know if it's good for your plants, but...
Put some osmosis on there.
Even if you don't try, by the time you get to be in your 60s or 70s, you know a lot.
Yeah.
It's just back in the brain. It's like a computer. People are funny when they delete something. You didn't delete it.
Yeah.
What you delete is still in your computer. You've just moved things around, basically.
Yeah. One of the lines from my book talking about, actually Brian, talking about deleting or catch this, don't delete it. And he goes, and the program manager says to him, nothing ever disappears anymore.
It's true.
Yeah.
Especially these forensic...
it's there forever.
The police get a hold of, your computer, and forensically they go through and they go, you know what, he deleted all these things, but it's actually found over here in this part of the computer.
We had, I don't know if we talked about this, but we're going to do an Alaskan tour next June, I think.
Not Garden America.
Not Garden America,
yeah,
right.
Real quick.
But you're welcome to come if you want.
Yeah.
I did an Alaska cruise years ago and loved it.
Did you really?
Yep.
Yeah. You know what I did not know though is that if you're going to Canada and you've ever had a DUI, forget it. You can't get in.
Really?
Yeah. They passed a new law that anyone who ever has a DUI cannot go in unless it happened before the law was passed.
Oh.
So I think it was like 1986. If you had a DUI before 1986, you can get a lawyer and you can fill out paperwork and be deemed rehabilitated.
Deemed fit?
You can be deemed rehabilitated, which just seems pretty extreme to me.
A little extreme. I could understand in the last couple of years, maybe.
Yeah. So that would be like if you're going to Alaska, you can't go through Canada. Not that I've never had a DUI.
I never have either.
Yeah. But
there you go.
Yeah.
Now
I never knew
just-
that.
I was shocked to find out because
the weird
came up
questions,
because
the weird questions they ask you to go on trips, right?
Yeah. One of our friends, we were at a bunch of guys get together for breakfast every Friday, and he was talking about it and mentioned that he had a DUI 55 years ago.
Oh my goodness. Did
And,
they even exist 55 years ago?
and he
They used to
said,
just let you go and say, slow down.
Yeah.
and he went to fill out one of those global passes.
Mm-hmm.
For TSA you can get the pre-check, right,
Yeah.
for the U.S., but then there's a global one. And he said it said, have you ever been convicted of anything? And he put down yes. And then they said, when was it during the interview? And he goes, 55 years ago. And he says, well, you're denied. It's like,
Obviously, you haven't learned your lesson in 55 years.
yeah, it's like, I was 18 years old. What are you talking
My
about?
brain hadn't completely,
Yeah.
developed yet.
Wow.
Yeah, that is pretty extreme.
I know. It's
We should do that with gardening. Limit people.
So how
If
many
you've
people?
killed, if you've killed 8 plants, you can no longer buy more.
Right, you have to wait a year.
Yeah.
or at least the same type, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What was it we used to say that you never give up growing a plant until you've killed it 3 times?
Yeah, exactly.
We have 1 minute to the break, and then after that break, one more short segment.
All right.
We're moving right along here.
Yeah, it's been a good Saturday.
It has been, yeah.
I mean, we covered our Thanksgiving holiday last show.
Yep.
Now we're getting into the Christmas holiday. We talked about Christmas trees. We talked about poinsettias. We talked about cyclamen with John on the last episode.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
and
yeah.
how cool
That was
new
another thing we
varieties
saw up there, yeah.
that they have. Do
you
you know
have
the one
any of
thing we
those?
haven't mentioned yet?
What?
Thanksgiving cactus.
Which we're going to talk about after the break. How about
There
that?
you go.
Briefly.
Now, are you
or
talking
whatever.
about zygocactus or Schlumbergera?
We'll find out.
Speaking of DUI, say that again. Schlimbergia.
Schlumberger.
All right, we're going to take a break. We've got one more segment coming up. Facebook Live, Biz Talk Radio. Thank you so much. Brian Main, John Bagnasker, Tiger Palafox here. Garden America live or pre-recorded as well from San Diego, California. Stay with us. Okay, we are back, and again, this is our final segment, so pay attention, class. Come on, listen up. Listen. Are they right? Listen, class,
Bueller.
listen.
Bueller.
Okay, so we did get I
think it goes, look, listen,
Oh,
listen.
yeah, look. I know, you know where I'm coming from.
Yes, I do.
think we've got a comment from Carla, John, right?
Yeah, Tiger, Carla said that she fell into the Twilight Zone, and she wants to know what the best method for returning the show. Should she just stay on and not turn it off?
Well, so you can't, but it will pop up when we do go live again.
Right.
That Garden America is live.
Just like the very beginning of the show.
Yeah. But the best thing to do is to just go back to our main Facebook page and then refresh until it says it's live again, and it'll pop back up there. And,
Right.
And it did take us, what did it take us? About 2-3 minutes? Maybe
well,
4 or 5?
Probably closer to 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, it's tough, but you kind of have to just hang out, refresh.
Yeah,
and then it'll pop up.
or even shut Facebook off and log back on again.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
like the beginning of the show.
Yeah, Marguerite said the same thing, that she just tries to stay on, but
Yeah, don't
like
stay
Tiger
on.
said, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
It's a whole new show, so you've got to,
Yeah, basically it is.
yeah.
It's a whole new show with the same ideas as the previous show.
Oh, my gosh, that
Yes,
just
yeah.
gave me a headache.
Mm-hmm. I like to do that to you.
I love that our listeners, they have their own thing going on. I mean, I'll text you later. Goodbye, everybody. I'll see you next week. So and so's meeting up with so and so, and it's.
Are we creating relationships
I was
as well?
like, we're just trying. Do they even know we have a show?
hey, we're over here.
Yeah.
Hey, what about us?
No.
Yeah.
When we start digressing on our
Yeah.
Canadian passports and everything.
Yeah, then they just
Start their
figure,
own.
yeah, we'll talk amongst ourselves till you get it out of you.
Yeah. But before the break, I
Oh,
mentioned
yeah.
I mentioned
Schlumbergera.
Schlumbergera.
which so every season, there's those plants that come out. We were talking about cyclamen, we talked about poinsettias,
Right.
Christmas cactus.
Right.
Christmas cactus are the other plant that hits right now. Everybody loves them. Bright, vibrant colors.
Yeah,
Easy
yeah.
to grow. But
They're really Thanksgiving cactus.
they are not Christmas cactus,
Right.
right? What is the
We talked about
Thanksgiving
that
cactus
last week as
before?
well, yeah.
What is it again? Is it
Which one?
Slumbergia?
The-
Slum.
Which one?
Yeah.
Could
The
you
Thanksgiving. Which one is it?
That's zygo cactus.
Okay, so the Thanksgiving one is zygo cactus.
Right.
Christmas cactus,
And
which
they're
actually
sometimes
don't-
called lobster cactus.
Yeah.
They're the ones with the pointed segments to the leaves.
Yep.
The Christmas cactus, the Schlumbergera, has rounded,
Smooth. Yeah.
smooth segments.
And they won't hit the market until.
Well, they just bloom later. They
Right.
bloom a couple weeks later.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
So if
you
you-
won't see
you-
them until actually after Christmas.
Well, you can see them before Christmas, but you don't see as many because they're not. There hasn't been a lot of breeding with them, so you don't see all the colors
Got it.
that you do with the zygo cactus. So they come out. They're sold as Christmas cactus, but they're actually, they start blooming at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And they usually are out of bloom by Christmas. Not
Okay.
always, but usually.
Got it. Yeah, and that is
But
another
both
hot
types are
plant.
real easy to start from cuttings.
Oh yeah, and I love the people that have had them in that pot on their back patio and just this massive plant. But then this time of year, it just gets covered with blooms.
Yeah.
They're so spectacular. So lots of
Maybe
fun.
gets covered with blooms, depending where you are. And the reason is that they need cold to set their buds. And if you have them, if you're in a cold climate like Michigan or Idaho, they won't set their buds if they're indoors the whole time.
They refuse, right?
Yeah, if they're in a heated room, but they freeze, so you can't put them outside. So what they need is a maybe an unheated porch. Where the temperature doesn't go below freezing, but does get cold. Kind of like Cymbidium orchids.
Yes.
They
Like
just,
what I'm doing.
Yeah. Or Phalaenopsis.
Yeah.
We talked about
What are you doing? What do you mean?
with his orchid.
Well, I got my orchid. I got to cut the stem now because
Oh.
all the
And then
flowers.
he's gonna put it
go-
outside.
And you can put it outside for a while.
Yeah. So it
I'm going to
cools
cut it
off.
all the way down.
Well, you're talking about a Phalaenopsis, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phalaenopsis don't need cold. They actually don't do well with cold.
Well,
But you when you leave it in the house, they tell you to take it outside. But
Who are they? I want to know.
yeah, no, but because when you leave it in the house, it's 75 degrees all the time.
Which is what they prefer.
The Phalaenopsis?
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
is that what I had? No, it's the same picture I sent you, John.
Are you confusing those with Miltonias or Paphiopedilums?
I was told from
I just want to know who's feeding you this information.
from Rocket Farms. You remember Rocket Farms?
Yeah.
You know Rocket Farms.
Yeah.
They said that when your Phalaenopsis is done blooming, cut the stem
Yeah.
and then put it on your porch outside because a lot of people will keep them inside. Put it on
Is
your
that just because of light, though, to increase the amount of light that they get, maybe?
maybe.
Yeah.
I told they say put it outside and then it'll bloom quicker if it's outside rather than if it's inside. So
well,
maybe
guess
it's the
what? I'm
light.
going to be.
Maybe it
I'm
is
going to be
light.
the guinea pig.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, I learn something new every day.
Yeah.
So this would be something new.
And
for me.
I'll roll the dice and take a chance. Now,
Does
cut
do you
it.
have
No,
Phalaenopsis? Do you have Phalaenopsis inside? Because you do grow them. I've seen them in your
Well,
house.
Shannon grows them.
But do you just throw them away when they're done?
She likes to let them.
Die peacefully outside.
No, she just ignores them indoors until they're completely
Well, I'm going to cut it,
done.
put it outside underneath the eave in the
But
patio.
Cymbidium need the cold
Yes.
to set blooms.
Yeah, that's you. Those
Definitely
ones, they stay
true.
outside. Usually.
Definitely true for a Cymbidium. Yeah,
Yeah.
people bring them indoors when they're blooming.
Yeah.
And then put them back outside.
I'm putting it outside. I'm going to cut it. Well, I mean, then this is the picture I sent you. So, do we have the right species? Are we talking about the right one here?
John doesn't even remember what picture you sent.
Yeah, I sent him
You-
two pictures.
You did?
Yeah, because you responded to me.
Recently?
What time
I
does
will
John?
say-
What time does
Hey,
John's ride
so we,
get here?
So we can answer a question.
Hey, we gotta go.
Rick answered what conditions are ideal to grow lettuce? They love cool. They love it to be cool. A very mild
Brian
temperature.
says
is
we got to
lettuce.
take a break.
No,
though.
this
we're
is it.
done.
We're done. Hey, thank you so
What?
much for tuning in. We're up against the clock for Biz Talk Radio. Thank you so much. John Bagnasco, I'm Brian Main. Tiger Palafox. We'll do it again next week right here from Tiger's Backyard, San Diego, California. For the entire crew, thank you so much. And until next week, can we still say it? Yes, we can. Get growing America. Take care. Catch you next time.